Save on everything new during the Memorial Day sales event happening now at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
That would be concerning and maybe set a precedent moving forward.
If you have plans to be outside, you might hit a couple of these little passing showers.
A drug bust and a few arrests made. Look at what they hauled in here.
Happy Hump Day.
That's right, Wednesday.
Good morning.
Welcome to it, huh?
Yeah, we're doing it. The sun is up, we're up, and we're glad you're up with us on this Wednesday.
You mentioned it, the sun. What a great spot to watch the sunrise.
Yeah.
I mean, right there along the levee in West Baton Rouge Parish. Maybe go for a run. Well, who am I kidding? I'll just sit down and contemplate life. And exactly, I don't know, I ain't going for a run. But what a gorgeous, so there you go. The sun's coming up. I think we got down to like 69 degrees today. So not too bad at all when you think about where we are on the calendar for South Louisiana.
Last day of May, Steve. How's the weather looking?
Not bad outside this morning. It's going to heat up as it typically does in late May. We are seeing mainly clear skies this morning. The sun coming up. That's our Sky 9 camera brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake. Got down to about 68 in Baton Rouge, 70 right now. Still a number of spots in the upper 60s, but temperatures will start to climb pretty quickly with that sunshine that we're seeing outside right now. Upper 70s by 9 o'clock this morning, mid 80s at noon. Mainly dry through the morning. Highs up around 90, pretty close to normal. And today's rain chances running about 20%. Give you a look at the rain prospects here on Futurecast. So as we pause here at noon, it's hinting at a couple of showers, mostly closer to New Orleans. Get deeper into the afternoon, 3 o'clock, and you see isolated showers and storms starting to bubble with daytime heating. A few of those continue through the late afternoon into the early evening, but probably as we get near and beyond sunset, just about any rain should be gone. It's the third straight day and an ozone action day here locally in the Baton Rouge and New Orleans areas, so you can help out. Number one, drive less, carpool if you can. Fuel when it's cool. So if you got enough gas in the tank to get you through the day, hold off until this evening or tonight with putting more gas in the car if you can. Try to avoid using other gas-powered engines like a lawnmower, and also try to avoid using oil-based paints and solvents. All those things are ways we can help reduce ground-level ozone concentrations. Now tomorrow, the official start of hurricane season, right on cue. We're tracking an area of low pressure here in the northeastern Gulf. Looks like it's trying to organize a little bit this morning. It's going to meander over the next 24 hours, maybe get a little bit closer to us briefly. So that sends a little bit of moisture our way today and tomorrow, not much, but by the weekend expected to kick out to the east. So not a major concern for us. And as it stands, the National Hurricane Center right now only placing development odds at 20%. So good news on that front, but just a reminder that hurricane season is upon us. Looking ahead, the baseball regional at the Box gets underway Friday afternoon. Of course, LSU hosting Tulane, 2 o'clock first pitch. Be ready for a hot afternoon. If you're headed out there to tailgate, go to the game itself. Temperature could very well be at or above 90 most of the game on Friday. Good news is, I think mainly dry, just a slim rain chance. Winds will be out of the northeast 5 to 10. Rain unlikely to be much of an issue for Friday and Saturday. I'll show you in a moment, though, rain chances a little bit higher by Sunday. But today, right on through Friday and Saturday, rain chances 20% or less. Does start to get a little bit hotter this weekend. Highs up around 92, 93. Would not rule out maybe a 94 at some point. And then notice by Sunday, rain chances, nothing widespread, but up to 40% Sunday into early next week. That's why I say for the regional, might have to keep an eye on our first alert weather app. A little better chance of some afternoon storms. But overall, we're headed into the first days of June, and from this weekend on into early next week, a pretty typical summer forecast. 7:06, let's get an update now on your Wednesday morning commute with Johnny.
We've had a problem on I-12 right at the 10-12 merge most of the morning, and we see the wreckers now on the scene. This vehicle spun off into the grass right past the exit that takes you over the interstate from 12 to 10. So it's right before the merge on 12 and 10. 12 westbound. Our backups got at one time to Airline Highway. Now they're just right past the Jefferson-Drusilla area. Again, this far right lane is blocked. You can kind of see the activity right at the top of your screen, just past the exit that takes you from I-12 west to I-10 east. And we'll widen our shot. That's where that is, and we'll widen our shot and show you some of the traffic coming out of Denham Springs. Not bad this morning. It's right here through the Pete's Highway Range, 4H Club Road. You're fine crossing the Amite River, and then right past O'Neill to Millerville. Then you're fine until you get right around the Jefferson-Drusilla area. And again, that will be gone momentarily. But we've had a morning with that where that's concerned this morning. If you missed any of 9 News this morning, we invite you for a really brief recap of everything before you leave the house to join us right here at 7. And Liz and Matt are in Studio B to recap our morning headlines. Good morning, guys.
Good morning to you, Johnny. So from a busy traffic alert center to a busy capital, nation's capital today.
Look, this has been months in the making, this debt ceiling deal, right? And so now we've got days to make it happen until that deadline that the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says is now the deadline, June 5th. That debt ceiling compromise, that middle of the road compromise, right? Barely making out of a House Rules Committee yesterday, razor thin, 7-6, right? That was the vote?
Yeah.
Full House today.
And you were saying just one hurdle here,
right.
But again, when it comes to a compromise, not everyone is going to be happy,
right.
But a deal needs to be made ultimately to move forward so the U.S. has money to pay the bills.
Got to.
What moves next? Well, we're going to keep our eyes on that today and see what comes out of the next hurdle.
Okay, so that's big picture there, nation's capital.
Yeah.
Let's bring you back into South Louisiana. We were talking about this morning. Actually, our Dion Guillory from right here in this spot earlier on 9 News this morning talked about a pretty big drug bust. Big time drugs and some guns taken off the streets.
Let's show you the haul here. We're talking guns, hard drugs, heroin, crack cocaine, methamphetamine. This police ended up at a home on the 1200 block of Christie Drive. That's near Florida Boulevard. So a number of different guns here, a number of different types of drugs. Police say that they have made an arrest here, Matt, but they're not telling us who at this point. Okay, so but the big takeaway, as you mentioned, all that taken off the streets. We're talking meth, we're talking crack, powder cocaine, heroin, marijuana, synthetic marijuana. You can see as well as obviously the weapons, the pistols that they found and are now off the streets. So big time drug bust courtesy of BRPD. Yeah.
So that was going on. That's brand new into the newsroom this morning. This going on as well. BRFD reporting and getting and responding to a house fire.
A major incident here. 4 dogs rescued, 1 person injured.
Right.
This happened at a home along Voss Drive. Oops, let me show you here. This is this photo from the scene there from the Baton Rouge Fire Department. We're told this happened around 2:20, so it's Voss near Winborn Avenue.
Right, so that's kind of, if you know that part of the world, if you're kind of familiar with any part of that world, it's just south of Winburn, right? Just south of Winburn and kind of in between Choctaw, so in between Choctaw and Winburn. But the good news, as you mentioned, Liz, actually one person was already outside when they got there, right? There was that person inside, taken out, and then moved over to the hospital. The 4 dogs are said to be okay, so that's the very, very good news.
Thank you, firefighters.
No kidding.
That is a scary scene to walk into, but again, some good news to report here.
Yes. There's this as well, something that we were trying to grab some eyes this morning and make sure they were watching the TV. A couple suspects apparently on the run after taking off a police chase.
This all started yesterday. East Feliciana Sheriff there, Jeff Travis, letting us know that they were pursuing 2 people who had allegedly stolen a vehicle from the Baton Rouge area. Well, right when they got to the EBR East Fell line, well, they ended up following. This actually was a traffic stop. And
yeah, they're trying to.
Yeah, Lemon Bee Road in that area. So the deputies had set up a perimeter. EBRSO getting involved with their helicopter. So you've got Dixon Correctional Institute, got their canines involved here. But the main thing to note is that these 2 individuals are being looked for today, ID'd as Montero Matthews and Eric Whitfield.
Yeah, 19 years old. They say Matthews was driving, and he's the one that they noticed was kind of, they say, driving recklessly.
Yeah.
That's what started the pursuit, but ended up crashing. They took off into the woods. That's when they found out the car was stolen. So yeah, still out there this morning. They're saying Crime Stoppers or 911 immediately if you see them out there kind of running around.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so a lot going on with East Baton Rouge Public School System, the district. Bit of a town hall, not a bit of a town hall yesterday to talk about the potential for budget and teacher pay raises. And actually, they got a big meeting coming up today as well.
Yeah, if you'd like to get involved and kind of sound in, because it's making sure everyone is included.
Sure.
Janitors, bus drivers.
Because they're not right now.
Yes, right, because we're talking about staff and making sure everyone's adequately paid. So if you'd like to join in on this town hall conversation, we've got the details here in our web story. Elise covered the first town hall meeting that actually happened yesterday as well. The goal is all about making sure that they are able to pay the 6,000 different employees here.
Yeah, it's a $20 million story here, if you will. But right now it is focused on the teachers, not the support staff. And that has a lot of folks concerned. So again, you can be a part of that meeting. It's going on a little bit later on today. Find the story. It's waiting for you, WAFB.com and the 9 News app. This going on as well. We were just talking about schools. School just got out. Never too early to start planning for the next. And for a lot of folks, that means making sure the kids have the uniforms And that's where this community comes in.
It makes such a little difference to make sure a kid is not embarrassed going to school,
Absolutely.
wearing something that's tattered, wearing something that's uncomfortable. Uniforms are supposed to be equalizers to begin with, but think about that, a child not even having one. But
Yeah.
this is where so many of our community members
Yes.
have showed up time and time again. You know, your kid may have not used a uniform as roughly,
Sure,
right?
yeah,
But
right.
then maybe they grew out of it.
Right.
Another kid in need can really use that.
And you know, when talking with Michael Caldo this morning, right now they are hyper focusing on those new or the used uniforms, right? Like they're just getting out of circulation for the daily use at school.
Yeah.
And so if you have them, donate them, and then we're going to start to get into the new stuff. We want to make sure those shelves are just stocked with uniforms by the time that next school season rolls around. Find the store, it's waiting for you. You guys always come through. Can't thank you enough.
Easy.
It really
$12
is.
for a new uniform, one set, $24 for 2 sets of uniforms, one to wash, one to wear.
Right.
Please consider making a donation.
It's so easy to be involved in. Hey, need a new gig? Need a new gig? There's actually a new casino, land-based, landside casino coming. They got a job fair going on today.
The Queen Baton Rouge getting ready to open. So every month, corporate executives are hosting a job fair.
Yeah.
And there's a variety of jobs in that.
Bing,
We're
bing,
talking
bing, bing.
food service
Yeah.
industry. We're talking janitor, security, everyone.
All of them.
You need casino
Right,
workers.
right.
So if you're thinking, well, I need a job, I can use this opportunity, multiple opportunities to get
Yeah,
involved.
I mean, you got one today. You've got one, as you mentioned, you got one in June, 2 in June, 1 in July. Find the story, see if this is something you might want to be involved in. Check it out. Like Liz mentioned, it's full-time, part-time spots over there for this new place. See if it might be something that you're interested in.
Yeah, we've got the details on
All
the
right
9
there.
News app.
Okay, this was an interesting one. You and I were talking about this. This is what Dion was talking about earlier this morning.
Yeah.
How often do you do your laundry?
Quite
All right,
often.
Liz, how often?
Quite often.
Do
I
you?
probably do it every other day or
Really?
every 3 days. And it's just me.
Yeah.
It's just me. I just like having clean, scented things.
I'm a fan.
I would rather err on the side of safety.
On the
than
sign of fresh and not
right.
not
Crusty.
funky. Yeah, fresh, not funky.
Yeah.
I got 5 folks in the family, and so the washer and dryer are just going like constant. We are on a schedule, so none of us kind of get in each other's way,
Yeah.
because as soon as we kind of get in each other's way and it gets a little crazy and clothes start flying and people start yelling, I don't need laundry fights.
Right.
Okay? That's not what this is. This story is kind of interesting, though. Are you doing it the right way?
There's standards, the industry standards.
Yeah.
You can find that story and more waiting for you at WAFB.com. Stay with us. We've got another check of weather, traffic, and news on the mothership in 10 minutes.